Place the back knee down, top of the back foot. Bring your hands to your front thigh. This is gonna get intense. Now with our hands on our front thigh, if you need less weight on the back leg, you lean all of your weight into your front hand. So you might wanna start there, and then those of you who wanna kind of load the back quadriceps, you'll come back to the middle of the pose, more over your pelvis, okay? So start by leaning forward, front knee forward, and press the top of the back foot down. So you see my back toes are tucked. I'm on the top of the back foot, straightening through the back leg. Now, we can either, if you wanna load it up, bring your weight back this way, keep the back knee straight. And all we're gonna do is take a breath in. On the exhale, slowly touch the ground, just tap it. Press the knee straight, inhale. Slowly tap. Straighten the knee, rise back up. This posture, if you've got some knee stuff, can be not the best pose for everybody if you've got meniscus injuries. So what you would do is you'd place a block or two or blanket underneath your buttocks, and you start here. And actually, if you can, let's all do this. Sit up on something, and then we can work the active strength in this posture first. So obviously it's a quadricep stretch. You may not feel it much when you're warmed up or when you're up on blocks for that matter, but the knee is fully bent so that the quads are stretching. The difference, probably one of the main things you're not feeling, is because we're in hip flexion, the rectus femoris isn't stretching. That's an area when you go into hip extension like we've been doing, that rectus femoris stretches double time because it does hip flexion and it does knee extension. So when you put yourself into knee flexion, hip extension, then it becomes a big stretch. So what you can do is try to lean forward and try to pull your left heel to your buttocks, like try to bring your left foot off the ground, and that's gonna be your left hamstrings activating, okay? Then lean forward and try to pull your right heel, foot off the ground, try to pull your right heel to buttocks, activating your right hamstrings, okay? And then release. Now, if you're like me, you're up on 2 blocks, we can remove one and check in with the knee joints. First thing you could do is pull your left knee up and pull the skin of your shin up towards the sky, and that might be nicer on the knees. Same thing, pull the right skin. That will reduce any sort of like fascial pull on the patellar tendon, which is what your quadriceps are attached to through the kneecap. And let's do Art of Virasana. Right leg out in front, left leg comes back here. Now, in many ways, this is much more accessible than Virasana. However, when we start to bow forward, it puts more and more pressure on the knee. So upright here, this is probably easier than full Virasana. So you could, of course, put your blanket underneath your buttocks if you're still feeling a lot of pressure at the left knee, okay? And then see if you can bow forward. And as you bow forward, I suggest pressing your left knee down into the ground and leaning a little to the right if your left knee has any pressure. Then leaning to the right can take the pressure off of the left knee, okay, while still being in this shape. And then, of course, if you want, you can try to pull your left heel to your buttocks, activating your left hamstrings. Optionally, though, if you wanted, you could also activate your left quads or activate your left quads by pressing the top of the foot down. So here's half Virasana, half Siddhasana. If you don't need the blanket, then remove it, of course. So this posture is the preparation for half Lotus and half Virasana. So if this feels like a struggle, you don't feel good in this posture, then hold off. But if you'd like to try the next step, you would bring the right knee out to the right as wide as you can, and then slide right leg up towards half Lotus. Okay, so the right knee for today, just let it be up as high as you need it to be. For most of you, this is probably not gonna be possible, so I got some options for you. First of all, if you are here, squeeze knee real tight, so use your hamstrings. But let me show you the building blocks. The next step from here is obviously a wider variation, because that first step is necessary, but also placing your ankle up here. Now you're in a higher lifted posture, which is closer to the footing, putting the foot onto the thigh, but at the same time, you're in a much more accessible position because the knee is still wide. It's when we start crossing this way that the knee is gonna come on up like so. I think this is a really great variation of Lotus half Virasana. Alternatively, by the way, I really like this posture when it's up on a block, the full variation. You go out to the side and you come up over here. And personally, I feel best when this right foot is fully flexed. So now you could put a block under the right knee and you have a fully flexed position.